Ladies and gentlemen, we will be with you shortly. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Just getting the streamers streaming here. Video servers serving. Got to make sure this thing here is updating above my head. For some reason, it's not. There we go. All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another great episode of this show, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting the excitement up because something's got to work because the other stuff's not working. But anyway, we're getting the excitement up. We're going to have a good show for you today. It's March 12th, 2025. Why are you watching us? Because you want to learn all about the latest and greatest in crypto, what's going on in the economy, what's going on in the markets, and how you're going to get rich or die trying. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. All the excitement is here today, this morning, or afternoon, wherever it is you're coming to us from. Once again, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, and this man in the box to the left of you and the right of me is Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. What's happening, Pedro? But before you talk, let me make sure your mic's on. Yes, your mic is on.
Yeah. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay. My man is on point this morning. He is vibing and flying. He's ready to go. Like rama lama lama da ding da ding dong. Like he's on it. And I love it. I absolutely love it. How you doing, Tom? How's life, man? It's been a minute.
Good. It's busy. It's some real world work stuff this morning that I had to get done for the missus. Got a little behind this morning. Sorry, everybody, for starting a little late, but doing well. Excited. Got my tea going here, and with my cup, that the green screen kind of gets half of it away.
Yeah.
But good. How about you, Pedro? What's happening?
Dude, I'm really enjoying it. This market is pretty easy to trade. I mean, it's not easy to trade, but man, they're just liquidating people and they're just looking for more buyers so that they can sit there and play the other end. And it's been pretty actually interesting to sit there and see what they're doing. I was listening to a guy last night who is he is a trader, but he's also a miner. And I thought was really interesting is I didn't realize that the mining went up to $50,000. Like it's not profitable energy wise. if we don't see Bitcoin above 50. And
Right.
so, and I've been
I thought it was
calling
higher. I
him,
thought it was at like 65 now.
or maybe it's 6. I thought he said that it was like 55 or something like that. But
Well,
the thing is because I'm looking at what's happening with the NASDAQ, and which we went over yesterday, it's really, really interesting to see what's actually happening there, and not to see like nobody catching it. Like there's only a few people that are seeing what I'm seeing. And so I just, when like there's a fundamentalist guy who sees what I see. And so what I've been doing is I've been using his terminology from a fundamental standpoint,
uh-huh.
uh, uh, so that people will at least be able to hear me, because I look at the market a little bit different. I'm a bit eclectic in that in that essence. So I have to sit there and relate it. And so yesterday I was trying to relate it on this space, and I didn't do good. And so as always, as you guys know, because I'm the most eloquent at getting my point across. That's why I have this man here to help decipher many of my ramblings, to make it actually sound like I'm speaking English. So I don't sound like a crazy guy.
Well,
So,
yeah,
anyways,
go ahead.
the reason I'm saying that is just simply is it was fun. I had a good time last night on this space, and yeah, it was about it in a nutshell. Okay, yeah, and finished up that pizza. That pizza
Well,
was
look
so
who's in the house, ladies and gentlemen. We got Space
ooh,
Cat.
snaps.
Space Cat in the house. Where's his
What's up, brother? Ooh,
Sorry, Space Cat. I
uh,
had the effects down.
Space, the final frontier.
There we go. Welcome, Space Cat, to the show. Thanks for joining us. Space Cat, you bring up a good bridge, as they say. The bridge, of course, is to me switching to talking about trading on Tariff talk. Pedro, it's on the stream,
Yep.
not on the studio feed.
Yep.
Today's theme, trading on Tariff talk. We'll get to that in a little bit, to talk about how trading, in essence, if the market doesn't move at all, you can be the smartest trader in the world. You can
You're
be the
losing
best
money.
trader in the world, but if the market's flat like a dead person's heartbeat, you can't make any monies, right? Market's got to move. And when politicians open their mouths, generally it never makes the market smooth, right? Every time the politician opens their mouth, it roils the markets because they generally don't have a good long-term plan. They speculate about the future. And markets don't like speculation. They like to know what's going on and let traders speculate. That's why you see Jerome Powell get up there with the Fed and he talks matter of factly, where this is why we're doing this. And, well, what do you think? Oh, I don't think about anything else other than what the data is telling me. But then politicians going, tariffs, trade war, this, that, war, Russia, this guy, bad guy, good guy, bad guy. And then tomorrow they come around and say, good guy, bad guy, reverse, opposite. Drives the markets crazy.
Yeah.
But it drives people like Pedro into happiness. Because you see all those charts Pedro has, and right behind him you can see the lines on his charts. It makes the numbers move to his lines. And that's good because those are money-making opportunities. And obviously, I'm not telling anybody anything new here. But the point is that we'll talk a little bit about volatility again today. And Pedro, I am sure will go off on a long tangent here about U.S., Canada, Trump, this, tariffs, and all this type of stuff. And we'll talk about it. Hopefully keep you guys entertained in the process.
Are you not? Are you not?
Yeah, Crypto Mike says, yeah, we are screwed. Carney is the prime minister until election. Pedro, and I keep beleaguering this, but it's amazing. An unelected person is now the leader of Canada.
Literally.
And I don't mean like a monarch that's not elected, like got the right sperm and won the country lottery. I'm talking about dude last week was managing a portfolio in New York for an investment company. And today he's the leader of a country, of a G7. And I don't mean little African nation where you just come in and put down a big wad of money and they're like, okay, you can be boss for a month. He is the leader of a G7 country and the major trading partner to the U.S. And he claims to be the wizard because he was the governor of the Bank of Canada and the governor of the Bank of England. The only person ever to independently hold two countries' central bank roles.
Wow,
And
really?
yeah,
That's interesting.
impressive, smart guy, and all that type of stuff. But he's not a politician, and he really has no idea what the people want. And people that have not been politicians, I don't know the right word. They just suck at being a politician. I guess that's like when Donald Trump
They
first
don't
became
know.
a politician, he was terrible at it. Now he's really good at being a politician. Not so diplomatic, but he's a better politician. But most people that rise up in the Canadian world here of politics, they start doing something else. They're a local representative, some city council or something like. Just like in the U.S., they work their way up, go for something bigger. Very few people jump into the top slot right away.
I'm sure
But
why.
this guy just so he like every little thing that the guy's ever done, they're figuring out. He moved his business to New York, left Canadians high and dry. They're not letting him do that. Not voted, but he was an advisor to the government. Said we're not going to do any more pipelines. No pipelines, bad for the environment. Pipelines are bad. Meanwhile, Alberta can't get their oil out of the country. Remember, we had negative oil prices on the futures about 4 years ago.
It was a great trading night. I remember like the back of my dude,
Right?
dog.
They couldn't get the
Oh
couldn't get the
my
oil out.
goodness.
They still can't. They're building railroads. They have to have a continuous railroad, like continuous cars to move the same amount as a pipeline. Just not possible. And so he said, that's it. No pipelines. I support the government and all this type of stuff. Meanwhile, his company is investing in pipelines in Brazil and in somewhere in Africa or something like that. And so he's just getting raked over the coals by the conservatives.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. It wasn't that what I mean. I hate to say it, but what's his name? Warren Buffett was talking about as he was talking negative about Bitcoin, right? And yet he was buying like banks and companies that was investing into Bitcoin
Yeah, right. Exactly.
in other countries. Sorry.
Exactly. And so this guy's the prime minister. Well, he's got to be. I don't know the technical way he gets sworn in here. He goes to the governor general, and she puts some stick on his shoulder, and then he's the prime minister. But for a month or so, and then they're going to call an election. Maybe. Trudeau resigned, and technically it's going to supposed to trigger elections, but it triggered a party election, and it could be very possible that this new Carney guy could be the prime minister if he gets the support of the New Democrat Party here, and essentially the socialists.
But he's not a Calvinist. Sorry.
I'm landing the plane here. This is what's going on, and the reason I'm beleaguering this topic is because if a conservative government in Canada wins, they'll have similar ideas as the United States, as Donald Trump's administration. I'm not saying the conservatives here at all are like, oh, we're doing Trump's things, because they're very different. But they support smaller government, they fiscal responsibility, getting the military back in shape, all the very similar things, and reducing the size of the Canadian government. Whereas if this guy Carney gets to keep the job and this prime minister and liberals stay in control, they have opposite ideas of the U.S., and it'll be like this with Trump for a number of years. And that's not good, because the theme of the show today, tariffs and trading issues and how it's good for trading. Crypto and futures. It's bad for trading, car parts, corn, dairy, butter, chicken, all those types of things. So
Eggs.
Yeah, and Space Cat made a good point. Mark Carney is prime minister is like having an actor as president, which is going on in Ukraine and somewhat in the United States too.
Well, dog, like he was an actor. Like he, you're fired. There was a reason why. Hey,
Space Cat says, I believe Mark Carney is the man for the job, and so does the majority of his party. Well, I disagree on the majority of the party thing. I would say the majority of the people that voted. He only got 116,000 votes to install him as, in a country of 39 million people. Only 116,000 people voted to make him prime minister. Very strange thing. But anyway, I digress on that. Pedro, before we get into more wonkety talk, the market's been moving. The S&P 500 mini's been going up and down. Bitcoin's been going up and down. Let's get into it and start talking shop here with.
Yeah, absolutely. Long story short, when it comes down to politics, it's great for trading because we have major. I mean, like, dude, look at Bitcoin, right? We were topping off, and this is the part that always cracks me up. Like when you can't, you'll never be able to tell me that the
Powered up
chart.
for Bitcoin.
There we go. You can never tell me that like that money doesn't lead the way for politics because right around this period as we're going up we're signaling we're going to be coming down here. You can see we had demand wicks down at this level here where we saw the demand wicks come in and look fine and it found some support but it blew through it and came and took the lows off from the Globex low from last night. But what's so interesting is that all the news that was actually being kind of given out was the opposite. And I just think it's so interesting that we had good news for actual jobs, for all this stuff, which is like legit. And I'm so shocked like that Trump is actually like people are legitly like saying, you know what, like not only with his deals that he's creating, but also just other medium to large size businesses, not mega large, but just large businesses are saying, you know what? We're actually going to stop our manufacturing down over in China or in Mexico. We're bringing it home, which has been really interesting here because we're seeing real jobs, not jobs like Uber or anything like that, but we're talking like real like manufacturing jobs that are holding things. The reason why I'm bringing that up is we saw the market come up, but then look, we're seeing the sell off, right? So like with good numbers or bad, I don't even care because the numbers are arbitrary as a trader, right? Like,
Right.
and you could just see that as they were pushing, they drop it on the numbers, and then like, look, it went from 84,000 down to 80,000. Okay, that's 5,000, about 5,000 points here. That were because the average right now for Bitcoin, um, on the CME, the daily average is 6,500. And so, like, just sitting there and watching these point ATRs actually happening, how they play together, just blows me away. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it because that's how we make our money. So here we are. So we're seeing the market here. Yesterday we talked about basically selling off. If it continues up, then expected to come back and test that 200 period moving average. This is what we're seeing here. We saw a sell off, take out the lows here, and now we saw it come back and test that 200 period to the 8. So this area is what we talked about, the actual conjunction part as traders. So one thing I want to just point out, as you are a trader, look to find confluence in many trading strategies. So like a lot of people use ICT, smart money trading, right? And then also there's also a lot of traders who use, and these are just major narrative ideas within trading. OTA, Online Trading Academy ideology when it comes to literally like zones, things that I use, right? My zones are split up a bit different and I quantify them differently. But the idea behind it though is this, is that they will use these types of large ideologies in trading for institutions to go in and find liquidity. And so you can see right here is the 8 period moving average sitting in. We're seeing literally, and I absolutely love this here, right? I mean, it's actually just, it's dope. It's just dope. You can see right here that we literally had a fair value gap, right? And then in additionally
What do you
to
mean
that,
by a fair value gap?
fair value gap is where where buyers and sellers kind of get trapped. And so here's the low here. Okay. It's actually right here is the fair value gap, actually. So, but I like to take my profits quick. So I changed my fair value gap. But it's like a zone. Kind of, how I talk about supply zones and demand zones. Well, in ICT smart trading, a fair value gap is like a zone. You expect price to turn around. And what it is, it's the low. So here's the body of the candle. Okay. And then what you do is you look left or to the right and you find the nearest. Here's the body. You see this is price movement. And typically with price movement, we see it will retrace. It will retrace, and you just have empty orders sitting here at this level. So price will want to come in and capture kind of left. And this is going to sound weird. It's not necessarily the ICT trading ideology, but price will come back and retrace into these levels where there is basically price miss, right? They weren't able to add enough to their order
Okay.
for the order. So that's what I look at. And so I use a couple. I use fair value gaps, as well as I will use moving averages and zones. A lot of times I will try to get a zone, right? Here's my zone with a fair value gap. And so when the market comes up into this area with a moving average, I will use a ton of trading ideologies to let me know where the stops will most likely get stopped out, see liquidity pools. And then from there, when I mean liquidity pools, I mean where there's just a ton of stops is really what I'm saying. And the institutions can load up their trade for the day or for the week, whatever they're doing. Right. It basically goes, and many of you guys know we've talked about daily, weekly, monthly, um, quarterly, annually charts, right? And to me, I look at those because those are important. Like we're coming when March was coming, right? We looked at the 3 month and said, okay, we got the 3 month happening. We got the new, chart here, and so let's check it out, right? At the end of March here, we're going to pull up the 3 month, and we're going to look to see, all right, look, we came down to here. We're seeing it. How did volume play off of this? Did we have a lot of volume? Did we not have a lot of volume? I'm expecting this to come down, tap, so it can get orders for that volume. And that's kind of how I look at the market. Simple as look, where are the orders? Institutions need orders. What are they going to do to get there? Whether they use tariffs, whether they use world events, war. I mean, there's that old statement that says, what was it? It was Rockefeller.
Never let a crisis go to waste.
Yeah,
I think it was
right. Like,
Churchill that said that.
no. It was somebody said that, like, if the Rockefeller, and this was in I think the late 70s, early 80s, when he said if he didn't want war to happen, then there wouldn't be no war. If war wasn't profitable, there would be no war, and he wouldn't
Right.
allow it.
It's got to be profitable for someone.
Yeah, and so he's one of the primary guys that make the money because he's, steel and oil, and
Right.
there's all of that. That is basically war machine, steel and oil.
Right. If you think about in the old days when, if you slighted another, clan or something like that, they would have to come take their honor and massacre all your people. and
Yeah,
but really, that wasn't the point. The point was they'd massacre your people and take all your wealth. And so, in essence, at the bottom of it, if they were just to go massacre the people and not get anything out of it, like we're not going to risk all of our adult men to get nothing. We're going to take all their shit. And you're right. In essence, it's got to be profitable to someone. That's why Mr. Putin's in Ukraine. That whole area is fighting over is one of the richest areas in the world of uh, exotic minerals and elements and stuff like that needed to make batteries and all the tech stuff of the future.
absolutely.
And he's going to get it for free. You know what? He's going to get it for free. You know why it's free? How much did this war cost Putin? Nothing. All he did was get rid of all his old equipment that was rusting and all that. He got rid of all of the people in prison. He put them up on the front lines, and the Ukrainians just mowed them down. He's basically got rid of all the bad military officers that he has been wanting to get rid of. So he's, in essence, when this thing's over, his military is purged of everything old, and he's got a chance to rebuild it as long as he can keep his economy going. But he's gonna ramp it up quickly by mining all that stuff that Trump's gonna give him for free. I understand there's economic costs that we've put on them and sanctions and all that, but their economy was already crap. It wasn't like it was a booming market that was like like China or something like that.
Well, here's the thing, though.
People are poor in Russia.
I even bring this up though. I mean, I think this is really interesting that they built their own blockchain where they were able to get around American sanctions. I think it was only 15 when Biden went through and put sanctions on Putin. I think only like 15% of the world abided by that and decided to actually correlate. It was a lot of people really didn't listen. I mean, the reality is they needed oil, and where were they going to get it? Was Germany? I mean, when their pipeline was blown out, where are they going to get? Where is Europe going to get their oil? I
Russia.
mean, like, yeah, it's the only area. Even though, so it's like it's a bit duplicitous what we're watching, and the hypocrisy of it all is sometimes it just seems like fanfare so that they can get the markets to move sometimes. And I just find it really interesting as a trader. Like, remember when I said expect some big news to come out? Remember October 7th, right?
Yep.
And that weekend we saw craziness ensue. And so I decided, right, like I decided on air, I was like, we're not going to talk about that. I don't. My hope was that that really wasn't the cause, but the reality is, money is the root, and and they people will do horrible things for money, you know, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's your. I'm just laughing because you're so right. They do awful things for money,
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
and there's a lot of
So,
dead people on the ground. Hundreds of millions of dead people in the ground because of it.
and in all of history, I mean, jumping
Right.
back
Yeah.
to
Going on.
like
All, most
ancient
people are dead
China.
because of that reason.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like one day, Mammon will have to stand trial for that, and so one day that's coming. Anyways, I think what's interesting is just this idea, though, that in the market when it moves to certain rhythms, and so especially when it comes to so whenever we're going to, you need to pay attention, and this is the point where I want to talk about in movements where there's high news, okay? And we know like Trump at any period in time can tweet. So you need to make sure that you have Trump's Truth Social and his tweeting profile up on your trade screen.
I got
Y-
it.
Yeah, you need to have it. Like it is imperative because if you don't, you're gonna get caught with your pants down, and you're not gonna be like, wait, why is the market moving? What's up? And then all of a sudden, like, 5 minutes later, you realize, oh, Trump said something about tweets, or excuse me, not tweets, but he posted about this type of situation, and he made a comment, and so it made the market move. Or the other thing you want to be paying attention to is reports that correlate with world economic uh, turning points. So if I'm looking at, let's say, the FOMC in a few days, right? It's going to be before it. Expect craziness to ensue. Some type of political tariff. This is what we're going to start seeing here. So I'm letting you know how to prepare for this. And what is happening is those tariffs are allowing the banks to position their either stops or their longs or their shorts, or maybe hedging, right? Okay, we want to get up here in case the market, so we want to put shorts up here, and we want to be able to, put our shorts in as it climbs up. So the market before that week will either be dead, or we're going to see a crazy sooth, what's the word? What do you use it? A sooth of, and a sooth and barrage of
I'm writing
news,
that one down. Sooth and barrage.
as you guys can tell, I've been reading my thesaurus, and I've said to myself, I probably shouldn't really
Sooth and
like. I
barrage.
mean,
I was thinking you're going to say soothsayer.
oh, soothsayer. Oh, I could, but no, that's not what I wanted to say. A sooth and barrage of information that will cause the market to really move. And so as we come into that report, it will help in either a continuation, or we'll see some big moves in that market. And so it's really important to be looking at that. And those are kind of the two things that you want to be able to be paying attention to as the market is doing. One, you need to have, if you can have Bloomberg, how Bloomberg on, you can actually, I think they have a free version on a news source. So you can actually download their app. And I think there's a free version or something like that you can check out. Also, another one that I like to look at is I use Telegram, and I have a news section where, and I'll point it here. Like, look, I have craziness here. I have ultra right, ultra left, and I have a bunch of stuff that deals with in crypto that lets me know. And the reason why is you need to have some type of good format of orders coming in or coming out. Meaning, I'm going to look at my news sources. Okay, I always want to be updated what's actually happening in the world from uh, conservative to liberal news sources. And additionally to that, you want to have outsources like back in the day, I really like listening to why it's not Skype. Sti- Spike, nope. Spike News. It was actually a lot of independent journalists, and it kind of become mainstream for whatever reason. I really like them because a lot of times they would release notes
Yeah.
about their huh.
I said, yeah.
Oh yeah, they would release notes, and that again, that would populate, and that would move the market for whatever what was happening. And so I look at these certain things, and it lets me know, gives me a feel. So let's say I go through and I cycle through, the market, and we're just dead that day. And then I look at the news sources, but I see that there's a bunch of stuff kind of coming out. And you'll almost feel the vibe of it where it'll start to like really like amp up, and you'll start to see all your stuff light up on your news section. And then this will move. Or sometimes this will really move and they'll position their positions in. And then you'll see a ton of news come out. And you can see that they played this before. And so this can happen over a period of a week or a couple days when you start to see this stuff happening, because they like to position the market before they bring out new sources. So I think it's really interesting to see what happens here. And this is what they call in the market, was it Vermuthen or Vermuthen? Ah,
I had vermouth in my martini last night.
oh yeah, Vermouth I hear is really good. I heard if you put it on your chest, it makes hair grow on your palms. What do I do with these? What do I do with these? I don't know what to do with these, bro. So
And to be, for the naysayers out there, I take the vermouth and I just cover the martini glass in it and then dump the excess, and it just gives a hint of the flavor of the vermouth.
absolutely. If you guys could do us a favor over there, we got 4 people watching us, which I'm so stoked that we have 4 people watching us over on Rumble. If you guys could do us a quick favor, hit the like button, jump on in. It doesn't take much. Make a quick uh, profile onto Rumble. And then in doing that, if you guys could do us a quick favor when you do that, hit that like button,
Please
make a
do.
comment, tell us where you're coming from. As you all know, I would love to be chilling on the beaches of San Diego, or Santorina, or
I forgot
Santana,
about that one. Let us know where you're
Santana,
coming from, because Pedro wants to listen to Santana in Santana.
Santa Cana. Why can't I go listen to Cana? Um, so somewhere it's sunny and nice and chilling, because right now I'm starting to get green. Many people know if you're brown and you got brown skin, you haven't had a good sun, your skin starts to turn a little bit like a tint of green, which is really interesting. That's really, I'm starting to get to the point where I'm like, it's the end of winter, summer's coming, and I'm like, man, I can't wait to go to the beach, chill on it, fry a little, kill a few of my skin cells, and it's a good day. Time is a coming. I definitely did not get my summer body ready. I will have my full-on cake hanging out, and it will be fun. Fun had by all. I was getting up in the morning last summer and hitting there's a little beach where I'm at, and I'd go in the morning, and I'd just be like, yeah, like it was the craziest thing.
Crypto Mike, I've
Yeah.
been there. I've been to the ski hill in Dubai. It's really amazing. You go to literally you walk by Best Buy, walk by Tim's. Literally, the mall has a Tim's in it, and you go. All of a sudden, you get to the end, and you're like, "Oh, what's here?" And you see all these families starting to dress in winter gear, and you're like, "What? What the hell's going on here?" And then you look, and you see people skiing and snowboarding. It's the most amazing thing. It's the most. There's actually a cool documentary out there about the building of it, and the cooling system that they use to cool the snow, and it's so toxic that if it if it breaks, it's like going to kill everyone in the mall. It's,
Oh,
yeah,
that's good to know.
I know it. The guy's like, "Oh yeah, you don't want this stuff getting out." But that's why
That's
it was really expensive to build the containment system for it. So in case the pipes break, it doesn't spray out into the mall. It goes into a system. But it's really cool. They have snow and they make it. You can see the snow guns and you see people skiing, and it's just like the run's long enough, like a small little mini ski area. It does a little turn and comes around. Like I worked there for a while, and Dubai's just like a big playground now. It's they build new cool stuff because they've got the money to do it, or at least had a lot of money to do it. Um, and then people go there and spend their money. So the tourism industry, they created the little playground and people came, and it's just fun. Lots of weird stuff going on there, though. I mean, it's the confluence of the whole world. Like 80% of the world is within a 6 to 8 hour flight of Dubai, of the population. So everybody goes there. It's like Orlando kind of, but on the Arabian Gulf, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and hopefully Pedro and I will get sponsored to go to a crypto event over there one of these days.
I look forward to the point where you're driving me around and you're like, hey, Pedro, so this is the place where you wanna, and this is the place where you like to, and this is the place you eat, and like that's gonna be fun one day. One
Except that it's
day.
different now. Now, since I lived there, there's a whole they dug a massive canal and built all new entertainment districts and everything. I haven't been to Dubai since before COVID when I went with the missus. And one of the things we did is we stayed out in the desert at this resort that the crew stays at when they film the Star Wars movies, because it's out in the desert in between Abu Dhabi and Saudi Arabia. It's just the coolest place. You're just like, people live here. It's the coolest place for like 2 days, and then after that, you're like, okay, it's time to go.
Time to go. Yeah, like a vacation. There's a reason why. There's a reason why America's the greatest place on the face of the earth, man.
No, I
I
just
could
mean
be
out of the
biased.
desert.
Oh,
You can go back to
you
Dubai. You
know,
can spend months there. Just not June, July, and August.
it'd be hurting.
It is hot.
It's hot, hot, hot. So one of the things I forgot to bring up. So one of the reasons why I was looking at this is this right here, and I forgot to bring this up as well. This right here is the weekly gap on the CME. So this right here, this junction part that I have, we came up and tapped this area. This was Sunday. This is the 24-hour trading. Between Saturday and Sunday, on this day, the market is closed. And so because this is Friday right here, the market closed right here and then opened up on Sunday evening right around here. Like this is where we saw it kind of happen. And so we saw it actually it opened. Give me 1 second right here.
They're gonna need to fix that. They're gonna need to figure out a way to stop this nonsense of closing for a couple of days. Just
Oh no, that will never, because until that generation dies, there's no way that will happen. There's just not.
well,
And
I mean,
there's
it's
still
not.
running.
I mean, the CME is not a member-owned organization anymore that sets the rules. They're a public company, and
Yep.
I'm sure they have a governance board and stuff like that. But I don't know. But they just got it. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean,
Well, I'll put it like this. The idea behind it is you have so much money that is made from to say it, stop outs, that they can run, they can pull back and use it. It's not necessarily because of efficiency or non-efficiency. What the point is that you can get trapped traders. And so that's why I'm saying they're not going to get rid of that, because that gap right there, most people, like, we talked about on Monday, the sell off, be ready for, I mean, it was yesterday. I said, be ready for it to come back and tap this area right here on the 8 and the 200 period between here, because the primary point is that there are a ton of there's some people that are long here that they want to stop out.
Right.
They went long here thinking the market was going to rally, and then they sold it off, right? And so they're trapped traders. So they're going to definitely pull that up, and they're going to take it. And now that the institutions are within trading the crypto markets, you have that same mindset. Just people just don't realize it. It was funny, as I was messing with one of the guys. He was talking about how crypto's 24/7, and I was like, "What are you talking about? What's 24/7? What does that have to do with it?" So I was sitting there, kind of playing with him, and then he said, "The market is 24/7 in crypto. You can trade it nonstop." And I almost like broke character there, but I was like, "Bro, that's not a good thing. Like, that's not a good
Oh, I
thing."
know.
Because in all reality, like, it's just more money. Because the longer, like, you need time away from the market. It actually helps your brain reset and learn, right? Like, it gives you time. Whereas the market that's open 24/7, you're always feeding your brain with information, but it doesn't have time to sort it out correctly. And a part of trading is understanding, okay, step back, look, give some distance, time distance from you in a chart, and let your subconscious and unconscious work out the details. And then you come back to the chart and see the chart in a fresh manner so you can trade it correctly. Understand that there's a trend, right? Like, if some people look at the market like this and go, oh, the market's going down here, right? And I'm like, nah, it's just going sideways. Like this, you can see here from 70 to 93, right? That's where the trend is at right now until we have the next, for your ICT trader guys, market structure break, right? And then we see it come back down, and we're going to see it play off of that 67,000, right? Consolidate for a week or two, and then potentially probably stop people back up, stop people out as it pulls back up into your 8 period or your 20 period moving average.
Yeah.
Then it'll be the end of the month, right? And then you have a quarterly new candle. So what's it going to do? It's going to come back up, tap that 93,000 area here, boom, come back down, and then tap the lower marking area of, again, that 60,000, 50,000. So it's just partly how the market structure works, and then pulling, again, I think that the market makers understand this idea more than anybody else who trades, that you need orders. Like, orders are super important, and so you'll do what you need to do to stay alive as as a market maker or institution, because your money is all your inflow is typically always coming in. You get investors, those investors go through, and then you make people live on commission only. Your top salespeople, they bring in money, then they live off of that money. So they're always looking, and they're always hiring for new, fresh talent. So you have a cycle of money always coming in into institutions, and institutions have to deploy that money. And the bigger the client, the less their risk for losing money is smaller. And so they're risk averse. And so if you're going to put them in, let's say Goldman Sachs, you're going to put them down here. Shout out to my teacher, Chris Koopman, for teaching me that. Thank you so much. If you're watching, thank you, brother. You're amazing. But that's how they set things up. And in the same sense, as this market starts to continue down, it's just a fluctuation of this movement, lower highs, lower lows, or higher highs and higher lows, so that they can establish good clients in good positions. I.e., let's say you have um, Kylie Jenner, who, she well, she's a billionaire. I think she has $800 million, right, sitting in cash or something like that.
Lots
She's
of money.
deploying, yeah, lots of money from her lip balm thing she sold, right? That in itself, they're deploying that cash into the market, right, at low points. Because if Kylie Jenner looks at her P&L and goes, "I just lost $100 million, WTF? I'm pulling my money out." And so they want to make sure that they put them in good positions at low price points, i.e., whether that's sitting in the bonds, whether that's sitting in interest rates, it doesn't matter. The market is volatile in all states. Like it doesn't matter if you're trading the 2-year bond, if you're trading the 1 month yield, it is literally bonkers. I mean, look at the markets. We just saw it drop like literally one
Yeah,
full
hold on,
base.
Pedro. You're going on a number of topics here in one breath.
Oh, they're all the
Uh,
same. It's the same
no,
topic. It's just
I mean, I had the comment I had about liquidity
oh,
in orders is that's a classic example is Citadel hedge fund. They grew massive quickly, and people were like, how the hell did they do that? They just whooped everybody. People are trying to figure out what technical advantage they have. Are they a little faster? And they had a lot of good things going for them, including a really smart guy running the company. But one of the things they did is they changed the market. Instead of charging people, they paid people to get their orders. They paid for order flow, and they famously paid Robinhood tons of money to get Robinhood's order flow. So all of Robinhood's orders flowed through Citadel.
oh,
Citadel had all that information that they technically aren't allowed to front run, but could see the market moving a billionth of a second faster than their competitors, and
which
that's
is
all they
huge
need. Right.
with AI.
That's well, the people run those companies run their own fiber optic lines to exchanges so they can be as fast or faster than the next guy. And fabulous documentaries on the great internet about that type of stuff. But they they had the printing machine, and they used some of the printing machine to pay people for. I was like, they're paying people for to trade. I was like, what? And then because they got all the liquidity, they had all that liquidity, so other people came to them, and they could
I
share
wouldn't
that
say
liquidity
liquidity.
for a
They had
fee.
information to the liquidity. There's a big difference because again, if I know where everybody stops are sitting, and I have that day 300, I don't know, we'll say $50 billion that I've got to deploy. All right. Well, actually, that's a crazy amount. We'll say 8, or we'll say 3 billion, 3 or 4
Crypto
billion
Night in
dollars.
the house. Thanks for joining us.
Oh,
Appreciate it.
what's up, brother? Good to have you. Hey, do us a quick favor, man. Hit that like button. Got some, we're starting to pick up our show here again, and really starting to come out here, and we're trying to just catch, trying to catch fire again. Right now, we're smoking, and trying to still fire here again. And so if you could just hit that thumbs button and heart button, guys, that'd really help us out quite a bit. Um, on the back end here, finding where the liquidity is key because they can establish orders.
Right. I think you dropped in the mute button. Sat on your mute button or something.
Oh shoot.
There, you're on.
Okay. Yeah, I probably did accidentally. So it's one of those things that I think it's just I look at it and I'm like I'm watching the market and how it's playing and seeing where potential stops are, and they're going to come in and they're going to go search for them. They're going to take them. They're going to get them. They are going to get them. So it's just part of the market at large as we look. And there are a lot of players. There are a lot of players in this, and and each player, every institutional player has billions of dollars to deploy, and the majority of them are hedging, right? And so they want to just protect what they have as they accrue more. I remember it was almost 8 years ago when Robinhood. When did Robinhood come out? It was about 8 years ago.
Yeah,
9.
at least.
Give me 1 second. Let me see. I remember I was at a like it was a Christian like rap battle thing, and I was at it, and I was in Norwalk, Connecticut at the time, and this
Rap battle.
hey bro, dude, you don't hit it, bro. These guys got skill.
I
No
didn't
matter.
say they didn't have skill. And just
It was phenomenal, bro. There's with how many of them were ex gangbangers, people who used to be in gangs and used to run and do all this stuff, and they changed their lives, but the skill set is still there. It's like me in trading, right? It's like I still have the skill set no matter where I go. So, or no matter my thought process is. What I was gonna say. Anyways, I'm sitting there, and a friend of mine sits there, and he was telling me, "Dude, you should check this out, man. It's called Robinhood, and it's free if you use it, and they don't charge you fees." I said, "Well, how do they make money then?"
right.
And he goes, "Oh, it's through advertising on the on their website, on their app." And I go, "Can I see the charting real quick?" And it was real basic charting. It wasn't
Right.
anything too amazing when they first started, and you just had lines, right? They didn't really have candles per se. And so my buddy sitting there trading it. I said, "Bro, how 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 good are you?" He goes, "Oh, I wait until the third dip in the market. I noticed it was three dips." I go, "It's true. There are about three different movements in the market, i.e., like you can look right here. Like here's the dollar, and it's all fractile. But typically, it's like one, two, three, right? And that's Dow theory, right? And so, like as I'm looking at that, and we're going back and forth, I start noticing. Like I said, how do you go through and really look at what the company's actually doing? That should be all kind of public. He goes, "Oh no, bro. Listen, you know who invested into them?" And he was telling like these rappers and all these guys, and I was like, "Oh, bro, that is a scam, dude. I promise you, bro, they are trading against you. There's no way that they're not trading against you." He goes, "How can they trade against me?" I go, "They take your information and they sell it to institutions. And those institutions look at where the orders are at and go, oh, great. Here are a bunch of we've got to onload all these clients and their money. And in between the fray here, in between the sideways motion, there's not a lot of orders here. But up here, because, or we'll say down here, like where all these stops are at, there's a bunch of sell orders, and we need those to fill our buy orders here. So we're going to turn it around and literally hit below here, and then they stop everybody out right here, and then they turn the market up again because they filled their orders. That is worth billions of dollars
Yes.
because you can make hundreds of billions of dollars from that. And that's really how they do it. Just got to the ride the storm. Good things come to those who wait. Done. Well, Crypto Knight, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Just real interesting as we watch the market. But those are the couple things that I've been doing to really be able to play this market and being able to really see what's happening in it as it's playing. One, I always make sure that I have Mr. Trump on Truth Social. Two, always make sure the tweets are up, ready to go because they can tweet. And then three, thank you. Yeah, mine dropped. So I appreciate that, Tom. Um,
Well, I sent you the one with the bigger text.
oh, thank you. Yeah.
Ah, got stopped out again. Erg.
Or
Lost
I'm looking
$3.
for somebody. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Here we go. Somebody say something so I can see it happening on the
Check 1 2. Oh, say something.
yeah, let's go. All right. Just make sure that it's working again. All right, there it is. Okay, let's go, let's go, let's go.
I
It's
typed
on
let's
everywhere.
go.
Let's go.
Let's go,
Let's go.
everybody.
Alrighty then. So shout out to our guys over on Rumble here. Thank you so much for listening to us. We got 8 people. Thank you so much for watching as we go over this market. So one of the things I think we should look at, and I think it's really important because I didn't really go into it yesterday, and the fact that freaking maybe I wasn't the only one because I wanted to go into ADA because we're watching ADA. We're watching ADA come down here, and because now ADA is one of the ones that is literally being used to kind of establish the crypto reserve. I think it was, and then also Zach was talking about it, which it was
Wait,
like,
what
dang
did
it,
you just say? ADA
ADA.
is going to be used to establish the crypto reserve?
No, it's one of the Cardano is
Oh,
one.
one of them that they're talking about.
Yeah,
Right. I got you.
yeah. And so like watching this at a price at these low prices, I'm like, dude, sold off again down to where it's supposed to. And then now we're watching. Like I just think it's so cheap. Like I'm thinking about like long term over the next 20 plus years. Like it at these levels, these are just banging levels. And so why wouldn't you like sit there and just pick up at this moment, like pick up ADA, pick up uh not I wouldn't say well Doge
Solana.
primary Solana. Thank you. I like Doge because whatever Elon Musk is going to do with it, right? But again, like yesterday, Doge hit our area here, right? Boom, came back
Oh, you
down,
switched to
sold off.
Doge. Man, you switch
Well,
faster than I can keep track of.
well, I'm just cycling through, right? Because it's one of the things I want to make sure that I want to go over some of the stuff that's happening in the market. So you don't necessarily, I guess you could, and I'll wait for you. I apologize.
No,
So
it's all right. I just missed it. Usually I miss it. I miss it every now and then. It's all right.
it's okay. Actually, let's go back to ADA, and then I'll finish up my thought there, and then we'll move on to Doge, and then we'll go on to Matic, and then we'll check out Solana, check out Link as well, because Link is another one that I think will be brought into it sooner or later. And then my good old friend Crow after that. So I'm giving you a heads up. Okay. So I really like Cardano here. It pulled back, boom, to the 8 period. I think we're going to come back down and tap that 57-cent area. And then potentially the 44 cent area for ADA. So make sure you guys are paying attention to these levels here as we're going through. Maybe put a limit order in it at these low prices so that you can get in on it if it does decide to sell off. So boom. So there's that play. Then in additionally to that, Doge. I liked Doge because Doge is actually playing off our zones really, really well. Man, I've got this itchy nose in my. It's like right here. I got this booger like right here. And I want it. It just keeps every time I breathe in. It like tickles me. All right, sorry about that. You guys don't need to know that. All right, so you can see here on the weekly chart
I
that
turned your camera off if you need a moment.
oh my goodness, bro. Like, why is this thing? I'm like having a hard time thinking. Oh, dear Lord, forgive me, people. Okay. All righty. Okay. Jumped out. All right, I'm ready, Tom.
I
So,
got you.
yeah. So you can see here with Doge that Doge came as bouncing off of that weekly 100 and 200 area here with our zone. Okay. And it's playing it pretty nicely. It depends on how we close. If we close with a fat bodied um, uh, uh, topper, or not topper, not Maribosa, what do they call them? Spinning top. If we see this thing basically close and it looks like this, right? Boom. And you have equal siding
Yeah.
and it looks like this. Okay, I'd expect Doge then to see us. We'll see it go up next week, and then we'll see it come back down and test these lower levels on Doge here. So, and that would be roughly around the 12-cent mark next. That's our next little area that we could see it play off of. And on the back end, on the weekly as well as the monthly, if we start to close below these levels, then at that 50 period moving average on the monthly chart, which is what we bounced off of there, the next real zone is the 8-cent zone on Doge. So it's going to be really interesting to see as we come down and test these levels before the next really big bull run here. So we went Doge, and then it was going to be Matic, right? Is what we were going to go over.
Matic.
So Matic. Yeah, we'll do dot Solana, and then after that. So Matic here has come through, and it's headed to our lower levels, which is really good, bro. Like this right here, a Matic at 19 cents, 18 cents, I think is really nice. Poly is one of those ones that we've been looking at, checking out. I like it. And the reality is that 18-cent mark is one of those areas that we've talked about that we could pick up pretty well. So 18 cents to 17 cents. Again, these are long holds. These are not, this is dollar cost averaging as it's coming down into our zones, right? Like we talked about this area here, right? As we were coming down and we said that 30 cents, we should see a pop. We saw it then go to 80 and we saw it come back down. I thought we were going to push through and tap that 200 period moving average, but we decided to sell off. So fair. Um, Again, I want to reiterate that the institutions, I believe, are putting huge shorts on the market so that they can get good pricing as we sell off. I don't believe that that they've just blown off crypto. I think crypto is very much
Wow.
intact and very much still going to keep moving forward. What's wrong, Tom?
Just the price of Matic.
Boom. So this area here of that 18 cent to 16 cent is a good area here. In additionally to it, if you look at your monthly chart here, you can see that we've been following that 8 period for the last few months. So you can play that as we come down. You can from this level here, we should see a good rebound off of that 18 cent, 16 cent area. We can capture a pullback to that 8 period moving average and see what happens after that. But let's go now into dot. Wait, Solana then dot. We'll just do that. Solana here, we're seeing a sell-off here. Now on the back end, looking at that daily chart, you can see it looks pretty similar to Bitcoin. You can see how it's sold off here. Obviously, Matic was one of the ones that are going to be part of and establishing the crypto reserve. So you can see here the buying of it, pushing it up, and then it's sell off. Again, similar to what we're seeing with many of the top coins here, which is again great opportunity to buy. If you have dry powder, go through and put it, even if it's like 20 bucks, 30 bucks a week, right? That you would normally spend on lunch. What's up?
My sorry, no, just go ahead. It's just me.
Oh, yeah. So, like, seeing it just kind of come down to these levels here is what I really like. Like I said, I can see it getting down to that 92 to 79 area here from a price point. And as it really hits that, we could see a stable, I think around that 92 to 70 is going to be a stabilizing area here as we start to really see it kind of go sideways and then again see the next push up. And I think we're going to, like again, I talked about us seeing Matic at the end of the next bull run, or at the end of this bull run, sitting at that 70 or $774 mark. What's up?
Just saw Crypto Mike's message. Yeah, please don't goo.
Yeah, you're right. So,
You dirty mind viewers. Shame
dirty
on you.
mind.
My mind never
Shame.
went there.
Every time I hear shame, I always think about Game of Thrones when
I didn't see it.
oh bro.
I know. I've got to invest the time. I got to do it.
If you don't got time, don't. Like just focus on what you need to. But if you can capture like an hour a week, bro, and take the net, take 8 years to watch it, bro. It is that good. That's because that's how long actually it would take you.
Yeah, it'll take a
Uh,
long time.
no, it would take you 2 years because I think if you watched one a week and there's eight seasons, and there's 8 seasons. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's just focus here. There's about 12 episodes in each season, so 3 weeks or three. Anyways, so you can see here that the break of this right here is going to be, you can see how this would be a stabling point or like establishing a new low before we see it go up. Again, I'm expecting some type of flash crash where the market just sells off, right? Boom. And then we'll see a push up. So that's really what I'm expecting. And some good news for America. It's got to come out. I'm expecting something good to actually come out because we need a catalyst for this market to push up. And the best catalyst to really see, besides just real money coming into something, is good news. And so I am expecting some really good ass news to really push this market up. So just be ready for something of that nature, probably in the next month or two. So I know I'm kind of elongating that, but it just depends on what I'm looking at the charts here. And once we hit these certain levels here, I'd expect to see it really kind of pick up and no, right? Like it's gonna some probably is gonna be brought up where like Japan and China are gonna become friends and they want to do business with America and they're gonna stop being douches. I mean something big like that. Um, because one being China is completely, we've talked about this by multiple times since last year, or almost a year and a half we've talked about this now, that China has been falling apart. It has not been talked about, but they've literally almost had like 20 consecutive months of things just falling apart on their end. And now they've come out and just said, yeah, we are having negative price points, right? Like they're starting to see deflation, not inflation. And
And
because
they
of
minimize the numbers. You know, it's probably much
maybe.
worse than it actually is.
Yeah. So we know this. We've been talking about this specifically on this show. We and me and Tom keep talking about it, but I keep belaboring it. Belaboring? Why did that?
Beleaguering it?
Was it beleaguering when we just keep talking almost at nauseum? Belaboring? Belabor? I don't know why that popped in my head, but we keep talking about it at nauseum here. The 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 negative numbers that are going along in China. And because of that, we're going to see some point where America really starts to take over the manufacturing. And as our dollar keeps dropping, okay, again, this is our dollar. Our dollar keeps dropping, which makes it good for manufacturing to want to do business here in America. As we get a weaker dollar, our economy will get stronger because people want to do business with us. We've talked about yesterday, we create pretty darn good products. So if you can buy something cheaper than your own, what Trump is doing is a reverse of the last 20 plus years since NAFTA,
Oh, we need
right?
a Uno reverse sound. That's what we need.
That's good. I like that. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, guys, be ready for that. Be ready for some type of good news to come out, whether that's an implosion of China and everything kind of happening. Uh, so,
Sorry,
yeah, God,
like these 8-bit sounds. I'm looking. I
messing
know
me up. With my
there's
ADD.
one. I have like a 6,000 of them, and I know there's one in there that's going to be for the reverse.
Doc, we can do that later. Um, like, come on, man. Um, all
Oh,
right, guys. So,
Pedro, give me the next thing you're going to go over.
we're gonna do dot next.
Just we're talking about.
No, we were talking about Solana. Now we're talking about dot.
Mm.
All
You
right.
sure about that?
Yeah, it's two different charts. Look, this is Solana chart. We are talking about it coming down to the 92 to 79 area. Dot is literally the like $3 area. And we're coming down to that 213 area, to the 142 area. This will be, as Laney said, a a break in structure, which will then trigger a sell-off. And then I will be picking up my dot at one. Like, and here's the thing. Again, this bodes well for our um, crypto reserve that we're trying to establish here in America. So these lower levels are good areas for us to be picking up and buying, and these will be generational lows. So again, save your money. Be ready. Be saving your money so you can buy these at these low levels, and then just basically be able just to stake them as it keeps just accruing high. Now that we have staking back, stake your coins either through liquid staking and or through just rewards as well. One thing I do like about how they actually put the kibosh on staking was we created liquid staking as well as rewards. So you can make money on a lot of that stuff on these central exchanges. Preferably, I always like people to check out Crow because Crow has a decentralized and centralized staking platform. And I think what they're doing is really dope overall for crypto. And so I really like them at large. Um, I bought them when they were down at these lower levels here, which I was really happy. We come back down here. I'm not really seeing big movement here. But the reality is, I look at it from more of a trading standpoint and as well as a long-term play. Um, what's Crow's amount? What is their? I think it's
They're at 2 billion, 2.2 billion
2
market
billion.
cap.
Yeah, 2 billion market cap. I can't, dude. You can't. I mean, it's cheap, right? I think, and I hate to give it a date and time, but to see it at $10, which would basically be a 15x of where they're sitting. Excuse me. Um, sorry, that's 15, 100x, which would basically be around $200 billion, $300 billion, where they're sitting. I don't think it's unheard in 10 years to assume that Crow sitting at $10 would be unheard of. 10, $20. And you're like, that is crazy. The way that they're playing and how much of the market that they have in regards to DeFi and CeFi and how easy it is to use their app as well as the actual website. It's just it's intuitive, it's easy, and you get more rewards, you get more staking rewards with them. They're kind of I think over a long haul, I personally like Crow. Now, if they change their business plan and how they're looking to move, that'd be a different story. But as of right now, they're playing smart, and I wouldn't be shocked if by the end of this bull run, we're sitting at $3. Didn't I have $3 for here?
I remember you. I remember you saying that if it went
Yeah.
to $3, you'd be doing the happy dance.
Oh, bro, I could buy houses on every part of the. I'm just saying, like it would be good. It'd be $3. $3 would be really happy.
Interestingly, I was just checking the YouTube feed, and the ad it showed me was a crypto.com ad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, shout out to crypto.com. Would love to be able to get you as a sponsor. That would be dope. If anybody there knows, it'd be cool. That would be really cool.
I've reached out. I reach out to all the exchanges about once every 3 months or so, like that, and never hear anything back.
You never know. We may one
I know
day.
you got to just got to keep at it.
Yeah.
Keep at it.
Somebody who will sit there and hear me ranting on some freaking
Right,
random.
exchanges. I mean, like Coinbase and the major ones. Just so
Yeah.
one day they'll be like, "Oh, I got that dude's email somewhere. I saw it." But Kronos at 8 cents. I mean, that to me that should have been over $1 a long time ago. And I just can't. I don't remember what it was, but it was just something. Felt like something was holding it back.
I hope it stays here for a while. I do. So I can get in and get the money out of bottom part. What's up, Rotten? How you doing, Crypto Underground? ¿Qué pasa, senor? Good to have you. We got a new viewer. See that you are new. What brings you around here? Who brought you to our place here? Or how'd you hear about this?
Welcome, Rotten. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Either you're a new viewer or an old viewer with a new name, new profile, or you've been a lurker. Crypto Underground.
What's up? I actually go. There's a Crypto Underground Telegram. Is that where you're a part of? Yeah, isn't that Roots? Is it Crypto Underground? I think the name.
Pedro, this is a good time to do what? Remind everybody of our show sponsor, BidFi. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's as easy to do because I got the graphics loaded up here. Best crypto demo trading. They have a great demo trading. If you want to learn to go long and short in the futures and perpetuals markets, come here to this show to learn about that from Pedro and I. And use our exchange partner. The QR code is right below me. Flash that, sign up for an account. They'll give you a free $100. That's
Absolutely.
right. 100 USDT to open an account there. And you can't just take it, otherwise people would be opening shitloads of accounts and stealing the money. But you can trade with it. You don't even have to use your own money. And they'll give you some more money to trade with if you deposit money in it. So check out BidFi. Good exchange. No KYC needed in the US until you get up to the higher numbers and stuff where they start asking questions. But they work great as an exchange. Need to switch stuff real quick. Works great. No KYC needed. But if you want to learn to go long and go short, believe it or not, we have a lot of viewers here that buy and sell crypto, but never have actually learned to play the short game. And now with the exchanges getting cryptos on their exchanges much faster, Mexi gets meme coins on there seemingly as soon as they hit a decent size, a couple $1 million in market cap. You can short them.
And you can short those. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, you can short the shit out of them. And so when you're looking at the graph and it's jeeting, you can make money on that. Or looking at the graph, looking at the chart.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I thought I would just give BidFi a little shout out. But also, Pedro, while we got some viewers, I'm gonna, as I did yesterday, but I'm gonna do it again today. I just give you the 2-minute overview on where we're going with this great show. We're going to be dividing up the talk in the hard trading part of it into another segment called Trade Wave, and the Trade Wave is going to be based on an app on our phones, in which Pedro and I's ideas about where the market's going and upcoming trades that we're working on are going to be shown. And here's the app for it. I suggest that all of you pay attention to it. We're going to ask some of you to be it's in the alpha stage. We're going to bring it out in beta here soon. I know Pedro's saying, I need a new picture. Yes, Pedro, we're going to work on all sorts of good pictures for you.
I like that. No, I love that.
And then there's me doing my famous pointing
homeless
thing. And there's a button here. It says, go to Pedro's ideas. But right now, that button doesn't work. Got to go to the menu. And you go to Pedro's ideas, and it brings up the old chart here that says what Pedro's working on. He's working on a trade in Bitcoin and Ethereum. This is all plug info, by the way. XRP, Solana. He's working on all these things for you guys to take advantage of. And if you look right here, it says he's working on a sell for Solana. That would have been a good thing when I made this a couple of weeks ago. Anyway, it comes up with the trade setup. What does he want to do? He wants to sell, and it's going to be a long-term, not a short-term hold. The entry point here and the exit point, the current prices and updating, and the strategy and the reason behind it. And Pedro, just for your knowledge, I built the spreadsheet so you just pick, like on your tracking spreadsheet, you pick strategies. And so it can fit into the things that you do or even want to show or not want to show. And you can put as much information or as little information. But then you can go back and check out the other things like Bitcoin buy. He wants to buy Bitcoin. Always a good thing. It's a long-term hold. Entry here, exit here. Boy, I got them in the reverse order there anyway, but doesn't matter. And the momentum breakout system is the reason why. I think I made that up. But anyway, at the bottom, which you can't see, there's a menu button, and there's a chat function here, so we can all chat with each other, beat each other up, post pictures of your massive gains that you're going to make, and then of course, couldn't have a section without our recent shows. And of course, these are past shows now, but the live show and the most recent ones will be magically updated there as well. And so look out for this. It's going to be an app that you got to pay for too, because people want value. They got to pay for it, but it's, as you might suspect, it's not going to be expensive. So I thought I would let everyone see what's coming with us soon. I'm looking forward to getting this out. Should be a lot of fun. A lot of fun to, let's see, Pedro's off for a second here. Let me get back to this screen to use, and hopefully we can all make a lot of money following our Pedro Damas's sage advice. And he dashed there for a minute. Let me find my great comment machine here. Crypto Mike says, sweet! Crypto Mike, there's probably 100% chance I'll be sending you a link for you to download. No, you don't even have to download. It's what's called, it's not an app you download from the store. It's just called the instant apps that are essentially just HTML5. It works in your web browser. And so, Crypto Mike, if you could, will you DM me an email address to send to you? Because I got to put you in as an authorized user and send you an invite. It won't happen today. I mean, we got a Pedro and I got to work out stuff, but get that to me. Pedro or Crypto Mike says, I shilled BitFi to a dude on TikTok that wanted to learn. It was like they have a demo. Well, I'll get you your own URL if you want. Rotten says, I'm with that group, the Crypto Underground. Well, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. We've got a couple of shows here on our channel, Crypto Underground, our viewership, but we just kind of changed things up. And ever since the election, YouTube has not been treating us well in the algorithm. We've got a couple of shows here. We got DYOR Live, talks about you name it, we talk about it regarding digital assets. We also have the Crypto Swamp Creatures. Two talking heads, Chris Alexander and Justin Wallin, talk about crypto, the nexus between crypto and Washington, D.C. and digital asset policy. And they use a little bit of humor, like I do in the show, to talk about that. And each one of their podcasts are about between 6 and 12 minutes long on short, quick topics. We have playlists for that. You can go in the body of this. Or let me rephrase that. If you're watching, since you're watching on YouTube show, Pedro and I are doing with AI guru Steve Rodrigue regarding AI, called The AI Life. And so that show, we've done 2 episodes of that, and we should be doing some more here soon because Steve's quite busy launching his AI platform, and so. We have to record a few episodes here, and Pedro, I'm actually trying to go see him. He's down the road here in Quebec.
He's literally was like 2-3 hours away.
Yeah.
You know what? He's right up the road. Actually, I've never been to Quebec, and I've thought about going. Literally, because I don't speak I've wanted to go because I actually have friends of mine I used to dance
Everybody
with.
speaks English there except the old people.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, you can't do business, or you have to speak English nowadays to do business in the world. You have to. And 90% of the internet's in English too. So
I have a few friends of mine that I used to dance with, and back in the day when I used to do ballet and stuff. And one of the dudes I found out moved to Quebec, and I was like, bro, what's up? He got into crypto too, and hit me up, and he's like, dude, you're into crypto? And I said, bro, who isn't? He goes, 98% of the world, or 98% of Americans. And I started laughing. I was just like, yeah, but it was actually cool. So he's like, bro, you need to come up and we'll hang. I said, most staff, dude. And so I've thought about going up there. He hit me up a couple of weeks ago, so I just thought it was kind of cool. I'll have to, whenever you decide you're going to go, I'll go up there. What is it, it's a 4-hour drive, 5-hour drive? So.
Yeah, I don't know how long it is for you. I'd say it's an hour into north of Vermont.
Yeah, so it would
probably
be
not that far.
Yeah, it's about 5 hours then. Yeah, because Vermont is Brattleboro is 2 hours from me. So yeah. And then I was going up there. So summertime's coming. And you know me, dude. I gotta find a door knocking. I gotta go door knocking, dude. I have to, dude. I've got to keep my skills up. You don't understand. Anybody who's a door knocker understands the skill set that you actually have. The ability to just generate conversations and think on your
I
toes.
couldn't
The
imagine knocking
dexterity of
on
mind,
someone's door.
dude. And trying to sell them something, dude, is like. And then get in the house and then communicate with them. And then to generate real report, not just report like, oh, nice drapes you have going on here, Mrs. Jones. You know, like actually be like, or if you do like it, you said that you're like, I really like those drapes. What's the story behind those? Those are really unique.
Sorry, I was confused. When I was telling you the times, I was calculating it in my head to Montreal. Which, Quebec City is 7.5 hours from you.
Oh, snaps. Okay, never mind. Ain't going to be a hop, skip, and a jump. That's going to be a minute and a half.
Right.
But I want to go there. So maybe I'll take a couple days and just hang out with my boy. So, yeah. We'll see what happens. But I can need some work.
Yeah, because Pedro, when someone knocks on my door, you know what my first reaction is?
My gun. I'm the same way, dog. Like, I'm the same way.
Because a robber is just going to come up and go, hello, good sir. I'm trying to sell you my DirecTV or this nice insurance policy. A robber's going to come just knock your door down.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is like, you carry it on you, right? And so like, you ever do like dry fire? Yeah, bam,
yeah,
bam, bam, right? And you got to make sure you lean forward, blah, blah, and I've tried to do like the John Wick drop, right? Like, how hard? I don't understand how you were able to do that, bro. Crack that.
You train. I've done it so many times, Pedro. It's muscle. It has to be 100% muscle memory. You can't. All you have to do is tell your brain time to reload. And if you have to even think about it at all, you can't do it because you have to do it in about a half a second. Yeah. First of all, it doesn't matter how many bullets in your gun. You can firing it under stress. You cannot keep track of how many they're in there. Even if you only got 3 bullets, you're like click. You're like, how does it go? So as soon as it goes click, you gotta be. I've done this practiced it in slow motion, and then on the clock, and you just bring your wrist in, you press the button, your hand's going down, it's coming out, slides out, or the magazine's out, the other one's coming in, boom, you're turning your hand, drop the slide, bang. And you got to do it. I've been training, doing that since I was 16 years old. I can do it so fast you can't even. I can do it like John Wick. I can't shoot like John Wick, but I can reload like him.
John Wick can't shoot like John Wick. Okay, like
right, exactly.
It's a movie, dog. Like,
although, have you seen the training videos that Keanu did? And the group that trained him puts all the videos on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, and it's just the cool. This guy,
and he's really that good.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not shooting people; he's shooting targets. But he's good.
Well, what I'm saying though is this: like, all right, the fact somebody told me he's the one who actually came up with. Because remember, he wasn't. He got to the point where he was literally he'd pull out and he would take the gun. He would get the gun to slide in. Like you saw him, right? He would literally throw it.
Oh, and he that's
what I'm trying to say.
That's
like
crap.
Dude, it was still when I saw it the first time, I said, "Is that G? What do they call that? G? The when they go through GTI? No, it's not GTI, bro. What is my deal?
Today?
GTA? Yeah, like GTA when what they call it? It's when it's all superimposed when they'll go through
CGI.
And do something with like AI. It's called GTA. What's the
CGI?
CGI. Holy moly, bro. At first I thought it was CGI. And then I was like, I kept slow mowing it. And I was like, it's real. Like he's legitly like, blah. And you sit there like, that's real. He's real. That's not CGI. You got to send me that, dude. And that's him right there. I have a really, really close friend. He's like a brother to me, and he trains people up in Virginia, and so he's got a full on like shooting area in Virginia where you can do that. He's got like 5 acres, right, where he can just shoot and have a good time. 5, 6 acres. Guy next to him has like 15 acres, 15, 20 acres. So it was one of those things that you just like,
Hey,
we
Liz,
went
I used to go to I used to shoot with called IPSC, International Practical Shooting Association, and my dad. Obviously, I got into it because my dad, and um, I started doing it. I was like 16, and at 16, I joke, I'm like this little kid here, like this, and I had at the time I had a 40 Colt 45 modified, made by this group called Wilson Firearms. Had a compensator on the end of it. It had a 5-inch barrel with a compensator on the end of it. It's this big heavy gun, and I had to learn to draw and shoot that thing. It was so fun, and I took my like nowadays if you do it, people think you're crazy. I took my whole firearm collection to school to Purdue, and one of the towns nearby had one of these tournaments, and so I went to them, and a couple of guys were standing around. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to be in a town called Winnemac. It was, and oh, sorry, I got this sound going here. And I pull out my big gun bag, and they're like, "What do you got there?" I'm like, "Well, I got this 45. I got and then I had another 45 for this, and I had my 44 Magnum and some other stuff like that." And they're like, "This, what the hell?" I was like, I was like 18 or 19. I guess I was 19 years old at the time. 20 years old. I'm like, oh, I just got all my firearms here. People are like, "You got those at school?" I'm like, it was the 80s. And I'm like, yeah, so
yeah. Dog, what a different world we live in now, dude. You know what's even funnier though? I thought about this. I said, if we were to, like what's happening in Europe with a lot of the Islamic nationalists, right? And how they're taking over London, and we're seeing them having these huge marches, and as well as you hear about the rape gangs and a lot of that stuff that's happening, right? I thought, man, it would be really scary if we started seeing that here in America. And I was talking to a friend of mine. He goes, "Oh, that would never happen." And I said, "Oh, dog, it very much could happen." I was like, if again, I'm not talking about you know, Sufis, um, Sunnis, and there are many Shiites that are very, very docile, and that's not the word I want to use, but just I'm talking about really like in the extremist, right? That you see, and what I thought was so interesting was he said, "Bro, we have so many guns, like, and people don't play. Like, if you see, like, there's some stuff going on down south, right? That people try to do, like not Shira, Shia law. Why is that Shira? Why is that so hard for me, bro?
Sharia,
No, is it Sharia? Is it
Sharia law.
Sharia law? There we go.
Well,
Sharia law.
tomatoes.
Yeah, Sharia law. And so we start, and bro, he was telling me that they were going through dudes with guns, were just walking out with their stuff and taxi, like, please do something. Like, like just goading them. And I sat there and I said, yeah, you know what? You're right. It doesn't even here up in here in Connecticut, like the gun association up here is strong. We're one of the most liberal states in the union.
That's
But
where
you
I learned to
still,
shoot in Connecticut when I lived there. My dad took me to
yeah,
the range in Ridgefield, Connecticut, and little target range. I learned to shoot our 22 Marlin rifle. Pew 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 pew. Little 10-round clip.
pew.
You can really only hear the slide click when you're in the range with your ears
Yeah.
on. Not like this chick over here. Bang bang bang.
Dog,
And
I don't know why is it so hot. I think it's so hot when a girl can shoot, bro. I don't know why that is, but it just is. And I've even said I was like when a chick can carry a gun and shoot, I'm just like, it's just hot. I don't know why it's hot. I don't know why in my head I'm like she's more attractive to me that she can shoot, but
I like it.
I don't
Just
know
put it
why.
that way.
Like it's like the weirdest thing. I'm like I think partly is maybe it might be like if I was not at my house, right, and let's say I had children and something was popping off, in the back of my head, I think to myself, does she have her gun? Can she protect the kids? It's the only thing I can think of from an evolutionary standpoint that would trigger my mind to say, "Oh, she's hot because she carries a gun." It's the only thing I can think of, like, why I would be more attracted to a female who can shoot versus a girl who cannot shoot. Because from a visual standpoint, you know, it's more I just think it's weird, dude. I don't understand why. But having a gun is important, and he was saying, yeah, it would never happen. You those type of movements would never happen because everywhere in every state, maybe besides New York, and there's still a ton of people who have guns up in the boonies up in New York, right? Like people like upstate New York where you have, nothing but just sticks. It's just nothing but woods. You've got a lot of country guys out there that are like, "Me and my gun, Sally," right? Even though, like, nobody would know, so it's just really interesting to see what would actually happen if
In
something like
fact,
that happened.
I just saw a comedian talk about firearms the other day, and he said what? And this guy was a very liberal New Yorker. I can't remember his name, nor can I find it in my history. But anyway, he took that off. He was talking about. He's like, what is it? What is it with firearms? You hate him, you hate him, you hate him, and then someone gives it to you and puts it in your hand, and you go, "I'm in love." He said that's what happened to me. He said I was against firearms my whole life. This YouTube's gonna just shut us down, probably even talking about this.
Yeah.
Well, I'm playing a YouTube video, so I shouldn't say that. But he he was just funny. He's like, and then someone put one in my hand, and I was like, I'm in love. And he said that's all it took, and now I have a
Baby.
completely different view of them. All I do is
Yeah,
put it in my hand.
that's the thing. That's really the way it is the idea that you literally could protect yourself. Like, and listen, I believe like God is my protector fully, and there's all that stuff, right? Like, I'm a firm believer that there's a higher power that looks after me, and ultimately He is my protector. But in the same sense, with the Judeo-Christian value, we hold that we should be able to protect ourselves, and each person has inalienable dignity and value and right to themselves individually, and you are to protect that for your own self, and vice versa for those who cannot protect themselves. And I think what's interesting is the ability to protect yourself, right, through a gun. Like I've been doing martial arts for 20 plus years, like literally, right? Like off and on, right? From grappling to Krav Maga to whatever silliness that I wanted to get into, right? But I would sit there, but there's a difference between having to take somebody down, and I would do more of the whale. Like, Elon talks about fighting Zuckerberg. He goes, "Bro, I've got this thing called the whale." Right? I would be more of just a whale, bro. I just lay on you. You'd be like, you're 300 pounds, bro. Like, what are you doing? Get off of me, right? But the idea of having a gun, of like, if I had a child and something was being, I'm like, bro, get back. Thanks, my child. You're going too far. You need to chill out. Just like how you talk about your kids, and you're like, look, you taught your kids how to shoot. Your daughter knows how to shoot. If like a man is walking by her and he looks like he's about to attack her, right? Like she knows, boom, right?
Yep.
There's something to it, bro. Like there's just something to it that when you hold its raw power, like
It totally is. Pedro, I was just the other day, I was going through YouTube Shorts mindlessly as you do when you're in a certain room sitting on a porcelain device. And there's a YouTube channel out that it should have been in the referrals there. I'm looking through Shorts to see if I can get one.
yeah,
That it's this girl that owns a shooting range. I don't know what state it's in, and she hired a bunch of hot girls to work for her as shooting instructors and
brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, no, it's brilliant. And they have a super popular YouTube channel and stuff. So popular I can't find it.
All right, keep going. You're
And
what
I'm
you're
gonna find it and send it to you because I think I watched 40 of their videos.
It's not, and just not even hot. I mean, obviously, if you're a hot girl, and I don't even talk about this. Anyways, um, the key point is this, and this is where I was headed, is that I don't think that there could be something like that. Let's say, like, I think that if the ultra right went way ultra right, right, and all of a sudden you have a situation like there's that show on Hulu, where the girls are all dressed in red, and like they're all like people. Anyways, the reason I bring this up is it went ultra ultra right, and so I think the Democrats would definitely go out. They would get guns. They would be like, your left would be like, yeah, now I believe in guns, right? Like it's they want to scream, until there's some type of authoritarian overlord that truly tries to suppress you, right? Not, you know, give laws to the states, right? But I mean, like saying, no, this is how it's going to be, and this is my rule of thought, whether that's left or right. The other party or the other entities could sit there and say, like, not in my backyard, bro. Right? Like, as long as you have the ability. And that was a fundamental right that was given to us by the founding fathers who endured 17th century authoritarian monarchies, right? That took the right for you to defend yourself. And so they said this will be an inalienable right for all Americans on this land. And I think it's a beautiful thing. Absolutely beautiful thing.
Ugh.
Anyways, why are we talking about this? I don't
I
even
don't
know
know.
if
It was a fun sidebar though.
it was said. All right,
And
jumping
not only
back.
that, but we got to wrap this up because I got to get
Yeah,
going.
let's talk about Link. Yeah, so let's talk about Link here. Link is starting to see a bit of a sell off here again. And so if we break this structural point right here, you've got one turning point right here that we should see it pop at this point. Let me pull this up here. It's crazy to think that that Link is at this level here. That's crazy. So I like this level at $9 for Link. And if we don't hold here, the next level is honestly down at that $5 to 450 area. And so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens here with Link. But it's one of the ones that I'm following, and I'm looking to be definitely picking up quite a bit as we sell off here. So this is, again, these are my three areas that I'm looking at. That's that $9 mark. This is going to be my first area that I'm really going to think about picking up quite a bit, and then around that four, or that $5 down to $3 area here. It just makes sense if we do come down to there, that I'm gonna be looking to pick up stuff there. And then the other one I was going to bring up is H&T. H&T, we're seeing it came down to our area. We saw a bounce off of, but it sold through, and now it's following the 8-period moving average again. So I'm looking at this area right here of that $1.50 next area as we come down. Here, I'll probably put in a couple $1,000 into H&T if it comes and hits these lower levels here. They've got a huge IoT network. I cannot. They're American based. I don't understand why the reserve would not add them to their stockpile because of the technology that they're building and already established and going. So I'm definitely looking into be purchasing H&T as we come down into these lower levels. One last one, I promise you. ICP. ICP, we saw come down into our level here, and then now we're watching it consolidate here. But again, we could see ICP come down, and that'd be the internet computer, um, is what it's called, internet computer, ICP, not to be misconfused with the rock band or punk band. $3.96 to $3.70. So these are just areas to be on the keep in your eye, see what's going on with it, and be ready to see those sell off come in. So that's in a nutshell, my brother. Yeah, yeah. I just want to finish those up.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time of the day. It is that time of the day, ladies and gentlemen. My computer's running really slow. Sorry here.
Thanks for coming in, guys, today. Appreciate every one of you. Every one of you guys rock the mic. If we have any newbies that are coming here that are just finding us, you guys can find us. We have a Telegram group in the description below us, not in the comment section, but in the
body of the
Yeah,
description.
in the
There's a link to our TG group. Join us and you can come chat with us. Crypto Mike says, Pedro, are you a juggaloo too? Gigolo? Juggaloo?
Juggalo.
Hopefully not a gigolo.
Jiggle. I think it means
you can do it.
It's funny, dude. I'll say, like, there was a point in time in my life that I was an idiot. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all we're gonna say. It was before I found Jesus. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Oh, my mercy. All right, ladies and gentlemen. That's all we got for you today. Pedro and I will be back tomorrow with another good show to keep you entertained. And then we'll be here Friday in one form or another. Anyway, pay attention to our socials and all that. We'll have like breaking news all day there.
All day.
The place for the hottest information is DYOR. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got for you today. Crypto Mike, you got the last comment of the day. Once again, the man next to me is Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, and you're listening to the magic of DYOR Live. We'll see you tomorrow.